and Justin. We are doing a review of the movie Snowpiercer. So we watched it last night, and per his suggestion, he had seen it before. What did you think of it?
I thought it was very action-packed and unexpected.
Wasn't expected.
Yeah.
It was very unexpected. So, jumping into it, this movie's rated R, so not a family movie to watch, but it's a great movie to watch regardless. It's a fantasy thriller, 2 hours, 6 minutes long, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. I thought it was incredible. So, the explanation or the what was that called? The summary of it is a post-apocalyptic ice age forces humanity's last survivors aboard a globe-spanning super train. One man, played by Chris Evans, will risk everything to lead a revolt for control of the engine and the future of the world. So,
basically, this is what happens when we try to fix global warming.
Yeah, they shot like this thing up into the spoilers. Obviously, goes without saying. So they shot this thing up into the sky to stop global warming, and it didn't. I mean, it worked, but it froze everything over, and everyone died. So there's one train that's going around the world now.
There were other trains, though.
Yeah, but they didn't make it. Yeah, so there's one train now, and we've got a bunch of people on there.
All the rich people right up front, all the
Yeah.
poor people in the back.
In the back.
Yeah.
So
like a caste system.
Caste system.
Yeah.
So basically, the point of this movie is for the Chris Evans is leading the revolt of his people who are the back of the train. Obviously, they're the underdogs, and they gotta work their way to the front of the train, which is where the engine is. And like these people like worship this engine, like they call it the immortal engine or whatever.
It's a sacred engine.
It's the sacred engine.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little interesting that they kind of like worshipped it like a god. But
well, that's what kept them alive.
it is what kept them alive. So they're like traveling through the world on the track and busting through all this ice and everything, and they have to eat these bars, like only the poor people have to. These bars that are made out of like
Protein bars.
the protein bars, but they're made out of bugs and stuff. So that's kind of gross. But all the rich people up front are eating healthily and
like steak.
Steak and everything.
Yeah. Good times.
So what happens is, as the revolt happens, they start taking kids, but you don't know why they take the kids yet. So they start taking kids from the back of the train, and they decide that that's not okay. So they're gonna revolt. And so
that's not why they revolt.
well they revolt because they're tired of it.
Yeah, and they realize that the guards had no bullets.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's part of the reason is because the bullets don't. The guards don't have any bullets either. So they decide to make their move, and they go. And they go car to car, moving their way up, and a lot of people die. There's a lot of bloodshed.
It's a lot like the Polar Express.
Only death.
So like the Polar Express.
Yeah, but death.
For those who
blood.
haven't seen the Polar Express, that's exactly what
No, it's not Tom Hanks is not in this movie.
Tom Hanks was the inspiration for this movie.
Probably not. But so they're working their way up, and people are dying. There's a lot of twists and turns. That's why it's a thriller movie.
Marco Beltrami did the score.
Yes,
Great job on the music.
It's great music for this movie. Highly recommended. So once there's multiple twists and turns throughout this, as I mentioned, but as they go on, they lose a lot of their loved ones, and they finally get to
The engine room.
the engine room, right? So they're in the engine room, and the head of the train, who invented the train system, Wilfred. Wilfred. They meet him, and he kind of like passes the leadership role to Chris Evans, and he's like, "It's your turn now." You're
after he finds out that the guy that was helping him lead the revolution.
Yeah, from the back of the train. The other
was
guy.
like in cahoots the whole time, and that the revolution was really just a plot to control the population.
There's that was a mind-blowing moment. We're like, wait, he's involved in it? But he got killed because the revolt didn't go as planned. Because it turns out these revolts were egged on by the train captain, Wilfred, so that they could maintain a steady population on the train. Because you can only have so many people. Yeah, you can only have so many people on the train. So they had to kill off the poor people. But there's a lot of talk of cannibalism.
That was much earlier. We didn't see that
but
on
this
camera.
you didn't see that in the movie, but they talk about it and how they had to
Eat babies.
eat babies and stuff, and it's pretty gruesome, but
It's a lot like tribal Hinduism.
it was crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I enjoyed the movie. It was full of twists, turns, unexpectedness. Definitely keeps you entertained with it. Keeps you
The
in the
ending
movie.
is just unexplainable.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
no, we don't need to go into that. They can watch it.
No,
and
we
find
can,
out.
because if they've already watched it, they know that there's spoilers in here.
Well, yeah.
So the
but
ending explained.
I think it's just good enough to say the ending was unexplainable.
But you have
Because
to,
those that have seen it will understand.
but you have to explain the ending
It's
in these
unexplainable.
kind of videos.
Well, how do you explain it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these two people, the one chick and this kid, get out of the train because the train crashes.
It's like a 10-year-old kid and like a 30-year-old drug addict woman.
I thought it was she was 17.
Oh.
Yeah, she's 17.
Well,
So-
she looked 30.
Yeah, she looked 30. They get off the train and
Don't do drugs.
oh they realize don't do drugs. They realize that the snow is like melting and that there's a chance for the world to come back. Yeah. So they get out of this train and they're like looking around, but they didn't freeze to death instantly. So they're like, "Whoa, we can survive!" But there's just a 10-year-old boy or 5 to 10-year-old boy
Hey,
and this 17-year-old,
age
and
is just a number.
I don't.
He's gonna hit puberty soon.
Whew! I don't know how they're gonna repopulate the world, but they saw
And plus,
A polar bear.
It was a mixed racial marriage. How is that gonna work?
that wasn't married at all. They were kids.
Exactly, but yeah. So how is that gonna work?
I don't know.
Like, what are their babies gonna look
I don't
like?
know. They'll figure it out. But there's a polar bear involved too, because they looked off into the distance and there's a polar bear, which is a sign of life.
I think they got eaten by the polar bear.
You think they got eaten
Personally,
by the polar bear?
I mean, what would you do if you were a polar bear and you saw two
Fresh
fresh
food.
meat
Yeah.
just like staring at you?
Go
and they're just
barreling
like,
after those kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty gruesome movie, but they don't. It doesn't show them getting eaten. It doesn't show them not getting eaten. So
Exactly.
we don't know.
It's unexplainable.
It's unexplainable, but they're out there. Just those two, the last two people on Earth,
Is an Asian drug addict and a little child.
and a child. And so, I highly recommend this movie. Would you recommend this movie?
Yeah.
It's a good
I
movie.
mean, I recommended it to you.
He did.
Yeah.
So, watch the movie, Snowpiercer. It definitely won't be disappointed by it. It's a different kind of movie, and I enjoyed it. So
Unless you're expecting the Polar Express,
Yeah,
then
it's
you
not
probably will be disappointed by
this
it.
is not it. This is not the Polar Express.
No.
So, with that, we're gonna let you guys go. Watch Snowpiercer. Stay tuned for more movie reviews. So, thanks for watching.